Mm-hmm.
I gotta sit up under some light, but
Come over here.
All right, Shalom. We are the Hebrew Israelites, and today is the Passover, the Pesach of 2024. So we're gonna do a little pre-Passover before we get into our solemn assembly. You know, which we'll do that in private. But before we do so, we're gonna give praises to the Most High and His Son, and we use this time to kind of, recharge the battery. We've been teaching all year. You might be focused on your lessons, focused on teaching, focused on issue that you may have going on, persecution, adversity, focused on your growth, focused on issues at home, whatever. But then the Passover gives us time to reflect on what the Most High did for us. You know what I mean? Brought us out of Egypt, and also to reflect on Yahushua. And that's what we really got into this for. But sometimes we get to the journey, we forget along the way, and that's why it's a blessing that the Lord gave us the Passover as a reminder. So before we do that, we're gonna give praise to the Most High and Son, the ancient Hebrew, and honor to our elders. I'm gonna say, Kal, Allah, Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahushua, Bahashem, Ha, Kodash, Mama. All right, double honor to the elder apostles of GMS and their elders. And shalom to you, Akim and Akwatim, the children that believe in sincerity and truth, running four corners of the earth. We're just going to dive into some scriptures, man, as much as we can before the sun go down, and just kind of fill out that spirit dealing with Yahushua and his sacrifice for us. All right? So let's start off with, which one? Matthew, maybe? Yeah, let's do Matthew.
26.
Yeah, let's start with Matthew 26, and then we go to John, 13.
Top of the chapter.
Yeah, because this is the initial point where Judas betrayed him. All right,
No.
and the soldiers came to get him. If I'm not mistaken. Go ahead, brother.
This is the book of Matthew, chapter 26, verse 1. And it came to pass when Yahushua had finished all these sayings, he said unto his disciples, Ye know that after 2 days is the feast of the Passover, and the Son of Man is betrayed to be crucified.
Right. So Yahushua knew, according to prophecy, that he was here to be crucified. All right. Go ahead and die for our sins, so that we could be here today in His Spirit, in the Spirit of truth, and believe. Go ahead, brother.
Then assembled.
That's allowed for the camera.
Then assembled together the chief priests and the scribes and the elders of the people unto the palace of the high priest, who was called Caiaphas, and consulted that they might take Yahushua by subtlety, and kill him.
Right. So these were the high priests at that time, and they wanted to kill Yahushua. All right, because Yahushua came teaching that he was the Son of God. He was rebuking them. He was teaching that his way was more powerful than the ways of Moses. He called himself God, but he was under Yahweh, right? So they wanted to kill Yahushua ultimately because they were jealous. And, we are recording now. All right, so you know what I mean? Okay, go ahead. So they wanted to kill him, but according to Roman law, the Jews couldn't just go out and kill Israelite. They had to go get permission from the Romans. That's why they went to Pilate first. All right, so that's what this is talking about right here. Go ahead, brother.
Verse 4 of Matthew 26. And consulted that they might take Yahushua by subtlety, and kill him. But they said, not on the feast day,
right,
lest there be an uproar.
See, that's all they was worrying about, the rebellions. They just didn't want an uproar. Yeah, you know what I mean? So they didn't want no uproar, because the whole thing with the Roman Empire was calming down all the rebellions. And so the high priests and all them, they was like, oh man, the Romans gonna come down on us if we cause an uproar, Go ahead.
And not on the feast day,
Yeah,
lest there be an uproar among the people. Now when Yahushua was in Bethany, and in the house of Simon the leper, there came unto him a woman having alabaster box of very precious ointment.
Right, go ahead. This is the alabaster box of oils. Go ahead. That she anointed Yahushua with. Go ahead.
And poured it on his head as he sat at meat. But when his disciples saw it, they had indignation, saying, to what purpose is this waste? For this ointment might have sold for much and given to the poor.
Right, go ahead. So they were more worried about the oil than they were about the reason she was pouring the oil on Yahushua. All right, she was anointing him for his burial. Yep. Go ahead, brother.
When Yahushua understood it, he said unto them, why trouble ye the woman? For she hath wrought a good work upon me.
Right.
For ye have the poor always with you, but me ye have not always. For in that she hath poured this ointment on my body, she did it for my burial.
All right, so let's go to Matthew 27.
Verse
Kind of bouncing around. Go ahead.
Verse 1.
Verse 1, yeah.
Matthew 27 and 1. When the morning was come, all the chief priests and the elders of the people took counsel against Yahushua to put him to death.
Right.
And when they had bound him, they led him
Oh,
away.
there you go. Go to verse 40 real fast. Go to verse 40. Chapter 26, verse 40.
26 and 40?
Yeah.
Verse 40, it says, Matthew 26, and he cometh unto his disciples and findeth them asleep, and saith unto Peter, what could ye not watch with me 1 hour?
Right, so this is when Yahushua, we moving quick, but this is when Yahushua started realizing that the hour was coming to where he was going to have to be crucified. Just like we're starting to realize that hour of temptation coming up for us. So he was coming down to the wire at this point, all right? So go ahead.
Watch and pray that ye enter not into temptation.
Right, and this was 2 days away from the Passover. Right, go ahead.
The spirit indeed is willing, but the flesh is weak.
Right, so the Lord telling the same thing to us. As he's up on the right hand of the Father, when he returns, he don't want to find us sleeping the same way he found them sleeping. And he's saying, what, you couldn't watch with me 1 hour? And that's what he's telling us, to watch with him in this hour. All right? Go ahead.
He went away again the second time and prayed, saying, O my Father, if this cup may not pass away from me, except I drink it, they will be done.
Right, because he knew the pain that he was gonna have to go through. You know, so he was asking the Father, you know, if it was his will, could he remove this cup from him? And he knew that he was gonna have to go through it. Right here, go ahead. Go through with it, man. Imagine this, going through this by yourself. We're going through this together with our Akim, but he went through this by himself. And imagine your whole family stoning you to death or wanting to see you crucified. You know, and that's what he had to deal with. They were all surrounding him, against him, pointing at him, saying, kill him and let the other guy go. Go ahead. No, go ahead, bro.
This is Isaiah chapter 53, verse 1. It says, who have believed our report?
Yeah, thanks a lot for the camera.
And to whom is the arm of the Lord revealed? For he shall grow up before him as a tender plant, and as a root out of the ground. He had no form of comeliness, and when we shall see him, there is no beauty that we shall slap him.
Yep, can you start again real quick? I'm gonna cut in.
Yeah. All right, this is Isaiah 53 and 1. It says, who have believed our report?
Right, so who have believed our report? We the ones that believe today, you know, the prophecies about Yahushua. So that's what this is about, the elect. Go ahead.
And who is the arm of the Lord revealed?
And unto whom is the arm of the Lord revealed? Yahushua was revealed to us. He was revealed to a small group of people. It wasn't to the Romans. It wasn't to the whole world. You know, when he showed up, he didn't show up with trumpets. You know, he showed up with riding on a donkey. You know, to a small group of people, and then that small group of people went out and taught more people. Okay, go ahead.
Verse 2 says, for he shall grow up before him.
Right, you would think when he came to the earth, it would be an announcement. You know, like the trumpet blasting and all that. But this was a solemn thing. He came into his own, but his own received him not. Go ahead, bro.
All right. For he shall grow up before him as a tender plant and as a root out of the ground,
Right.
out of dry ground.
Right. So that's the root that grew out of Jesse. That's why Yahweh Shai is divine, and Yahweh Shai grew up as a tender plant. All right. Before Yahweh, go ahead.
He hath no form of
Comeliness.
nor comeliness, and when we shall see him, there is no beauty that we shall desire him.
Right. So he wasn't glorified yet. All right. So we saw him show up a little lower than the angels. Go ahead. To be crucified.
He is despised and rejected of men.
Right. So he was despised and he was rejected of men that he created, man. He's the creator of all things. So he was despised and rejected of his creation. Go ahead, brother.
It says, a man of sorrows and acquainted with grief.
Right, the king of sorrows, man. Everything we going through can't compare to what he went through in that small moment. It usually take a while for them to convict somebody. They would bring them before the crowd. They would choose, and then they would what they call it, flogging with whips, you know. And then later on they would have a crucifixion, you know, like months later or something. But they did this in a matter of days with Yahweh Shai. It was rushing him, you know. Go ahead. They were putting pressure on him.
All right. Verse 3, it says, he was despised and rejected of men,
Right.
a man of sorrows and acquainted with grief, and we hid as it were our face from him. He was despised, and we esteemed him not.
Yep. Go ahead.
Surely he has borne our sorrow, surely he has borne our grief and carried our sorrows, yet we did esteem him stricken, smitten of Yahweh, and afflicted. But he was wounded for our transgression.
Right, so this is why he was wounded for us. He didn't have to go through all that. He was on the right hand of the Father. He left the right hand of the Father, came down here twice. He came down here during the time of Moses. The Most High showed his love for us when we were crying out for help from the punishment of these pharaohs, man, when they were putting hell on us. And Yahweh sent Yahweh Shai down here that loved us. And now he came down here to die for us and give his life for us, you know? Go ahead. So he left from the right hand of the Father, man.
Kill that.
Yep.
Verse 5, it says, but he was wounded for our transgression, he was bruised for our iniquities.
Right, so we got to remember that when we're doing this work, that we should be humble because he was the one wounded for our transgressions, you know?
The chastisement of our peace.
Even though we're blessed with talents, some are blessed with wisdom, some blessed with knowledge, some blessed with faith, you know, some blessed with the ability to teach or encourage, but all those abilities, even someday to do miracles, but all those abilities come from the same spirit, the same one, you know? So that makes us really null and void. We should all be thankful, whatever level or ranking it is, you know? That's what it goes into the scripture where it says the eye cannot say to the foot that is not important.
Yeah.
You know, we're all of the same body, that same vine. Go ahead, brother.
All right, it says, verse 5 again, it says, but he was wounded for our transgression, he was bruised for our iniquities, the chastisement of our peace was upon him, and with his stripes we are healed.
Right, so because of his stripes. And Yahweh said it pleased Yahweh to bruise him, man. You know, why? Because he chastens who he loves. And he knew it was going to make Yahweh Shai stronger and to be glorified and to deliver us someday. All right, go ahead. So he was wounded for our transgressions, man, for our sins.
I'm going to skip down to that part. I'm going to skip down to verse 10. It says, yet it pleased the Lord to bruise him. He hath put him to grief, where thou shalt make... When thou shalt make his soul an offering for sin, he shall see his seed, he shall prolong his days, and the pleasure of the Lord shall prosper in his land.
Right. All right. What was that? Isaiah
53.
Right, can somebody get Isaiah 50 and 6?
Isaiah chapter 50 and verse 6.
Right, these are prophecies of what Yahushua was going to go through for us, man, when he was crucified.
I gave my back to the smitters,
Up to the spiders.
to the smiters, and my cheeks to them that plucked off the hair. I hid not my face from shame and spitting.
See that? So we shouldn't hide our face from shame and spitting either when we out here teaching. You know, that's why the Lord say you got to go out to the streets and teach. You know, wisdom cry without in the streets, and thy eyes shall see thy teachers. He said he gave his back to the smiters. They were smiting them with flogs, like I was just saying, whipping him. And he gave his back to them when they tried to whoop him. When they went to go pull his beard out, he put his cheek out so they could pull his beard out, punch him in the face. And when they went to spit, he stuck his face out so they could spit in his face. Hog spitting and all this nasty shit. You know what I mean? All that for us. And it wasn't like one, it was like consistent. It was the whole time. You know, they kept flogging him and whipping him. And it's like it was nonstop. It was a torture. You know what I'm saying? They were torturing him. And he said he took that. So we should be able to take the affliction, we should be able to take the persecution, we should be able to take the loss that we go through in this life, you know, because that's all we're here for. You know what I mean? Me and Kabar was talking the other day, all the battles that we can fight in this generation, they really don't exist. So who's the real enemy besides ourselves in this fight? Like, you know what I mean? Even though we're in the same room, it's still a solitude battle that you gotta fight. You know, it's a personal relationship between you and our Creator. You know what I mean? Go ahead, back to Matthew real quick.
This is the book of Matthew 26 and verse 43. It says, and he came and found them asleep again, for their eyes were heavy.
Right.
And he left them and went away again and prayed the third time, saying the same words. Then cometh he to his disciples and said unto them, sleep on now and take your rest.
Right, go ahead.
Behold, the hour is at hand, and the Son of Man is betrayed into the hands of the sinners. Rise, let us be going. Behold, he is at hand that doeth betray me.
See, Yahushua knew that Judas was about to show up. You know? Go ahead.
And while he yet spoke, lo, Judas, one of the 12, came, and with him a great multitude with swords and staves from the chief priests and elders of the people.
Right, he brought Romans with him. The Romans was like, what the hell going on? Who we going to get? They didn't know anything according to prophecy. They didn't believe in all that. They just knew that you said, what, is a king over here? Y'all not supposed to have a king. All right, cool, let's go point him out. Just like Herod was trying to do. All right, you had something to say earlier? Right.
I had Isaiah chapter 52.
Yeah.
His visage was more marred. I don't know if y'all brought it out.
No, we didn't bring it out yet.
This is the book of Isaiah chapter 52 and verse 13. It says, behold, my servant shall deal prudently. He shall be exalted and extolled and be very high. As many were astonished at thee, his visage was so marred more than any man, his form more than the sons of man.
Right.
So, basically bringing it out on, what the elder was speaking on, how he was constantly taking what he had to take, his own people, hitting them and marring them and, spitting on them and all type of things.
Yeah. Come on, brother. All right, let's jump right back in.
Matthew 26 and 47.
Good point.
And while he yet spake, lo, Judas, one of the 12, came, and with him a great multitude with swords and staves from the chief priests and elders of the people.
See, this is the type of threat that Esau gonna try to present us with when they come in rushing like a flood with their guns, and their weapons, right? And trying to push that fear tactic on us. We gotta remember this. That it's the Most High that created this moment, that created this judgment. Go ahead, out.
Now he that betrayed him gave them a sign, saying, whomsoever I shall kiss, the same as he, hold him fast.
Right.
And forthwith he came to Yahushua and said, Hail, Master, and kissed him. And Yahushua said unto him, Friend, wherefore art thou come?
Damn.
Then came they and laid hands on Yahushua and took him.
Right. Yep. So he went through betrayal. A lot of us go through betrayal. So you got to think about it. Yahushua went through that too. All right. Go ahead.
And Yahushua said unto him, Friend, wherefore art thou come? Then came they and laid hands on Yahushua.
Right. He said,
and
friend,
took him.
man. He looked at him like a friend, man. Go ahead, brother.
And behold, one of them which were with Yahushua stretched out his hand and drew his sword
All right. That was Peter.
and struck a servant of the high priest
He struck him.
and smote off his ear.
Right. Cut off his ears. He was that nice. Peter was that nice with the sword. He cut off his ear with it. You know what I mean?
Accurate.
He had to be very accurate to do that. But the Lord showed at this moment that that's not our fight. He could have had Peter rise up and fight everybody if he wanted to. But the Lord said, what? We're here to fight the good fight of faith. So, we're not out here to fight with guns and, you know what I mean? Going to kill people and shit like that. Like people marching with the guns, the Black Panthers. NFAC, thank you. We're not supposed to be with all that. Go ahead, brother.
Verse 52. Then said Yahushua to him, Put up again thy sword into his place.
Right.
For all they that take the sword shall perish with the sword.
There you go. Because that leads you to mess around and kill somebody. And if you kill somebody, now the Lord gonna have it out for you. We're not sent down here to kill. We're sent down here to give life. And 2/3 are in that spirit of Esau, the murderer. Their father, the devil. And Esau's in that spirit of destruction and murder. Our job is to come down here and give life.
Heal.
To heal. Yep.
Verse 53. Thinkest thou that I cannot now pray to my Father, and he shall presently give me more than 12 legions of angels?
Right, so the Lord can send 12 legions of angels. So what do you think coming with Yahushua, man? Go ahead. A legion is like 1,000. Yep. Yeah, and 7,000. But in the Roman Empire, the legion used to be 1,000. All right, go ahead.
But how then shall the scripture be fulfilled? That thus it must be. In that same hour said Yahushua to the multitudes.
Right, so this was all according to scripture. This was all according to prophecy, man. So Yahushua came and lived it out according to prophecy, just like we're living it out according to prophecy today. So we got to realize that the same God that created the heavens and earth and the story that we're reading about, he's still on the throne. The story's still being written. And we're in the book of Acts all over again. We're acting out our part in this movie. Where the bad guy is Esau and 2/3 at this moment. And we want to be on the side of the good guys. Go ahead, brother.
Verse 55.
Yep.
In that same hour said Yahushua to the multitudes. Or ye come out as against a thief with swords and staves for to take me?
Right, so you're like, y'all calling me, like, y'all treat me like how you would treat the robbers and thieves. The way they showed up trying to kill them or with weapons. And look how people approach us today. We ought to do with Bibles. If I come back, I'm going to shoot you if you don't get out of this area, You hear that sometimes when people out there teaching. Go ahead.
I sat daily with you teaching in the temple, and ye laid no hold on me.
Right, so that showed the power of the Lord. They couldn't do anything until Yahweh said so. They could have been got him. He said, I sat daily with y'all in the temple. They could have got it. They can come get us right now, but they can't. Because Revelation chapter 7, the angels are holding back the destruction. The angels are holding back the winds. The angels are holding back the flood. Until we get prepared mentally, until we get each one of us sealed meaning to be sure of who he is and what he said he's going to do. Once that surety is there for each of the elect, Yahweh going to show up, man. And all hell going to break loose. But we got to know that it's the Father's hand that's pushing it. You know what I mean? And I think sometimes we don't realize that. We'll lose sight of that. Go ahead, brother.
Verse 56.
Right, so they couldn't do anything to him. He said, I sat daily with y'all. Y'all ain't do nothing. Go ahead.
But all this was done that the scriptures of the prophets might be fulfilled.
That's it. Yep. The scriptures of the prophets. That's why he said he came not to destroy, but to fulfill. See that he came not to destroy the prophets, not to destroy the law, but to fulfill the law and to fulfill the rest of the scriptures that were written about him. That's what he showed up to do, and he did it. You know, so we got to fulfill our part in the scriptures, and it says what we're supposed to be doing. You know, believing, teaching, not giving up. You know, leaping over hurdles, right? Getting sharper in the scriptures, growing in the scriptures, right? Go ahead.
Then all the disciples forsook him and fled.
Right, so all the disciples forsook him and fled away, man. You know, look how many people that have joined with us but haven't continued with us. You know, when they see a little bit of the persecution, when they see a little bit of any drama or the prophecies, it might seemingly, because they're not deep enough, they might not see the prophecies happening. But if we read, that's why the Lord said, watch. If we research enough, you'll see it happening in different ways. You know what I mean? So a lot of them fled away because it wasn't happening quick enough. They want that fast response. You know, they want to see it and not believe by faith. They need to see it, but they don't realize that it's gonna be too late. You know. Anyway, I just leave it there. You know, you got some people, they don't have no videos for like 5 years. And it's like, what are you doing? Somebody walked to the park earlier. They used to teach out here on the north side. They walked to the park when I left. I seen them walking in. It was a whole camp, and they just gone. It's like, bro, how can you just walk around so chill like that? You just see something wrong with me. I'll be skits into something like nervous as hell. Like, what the fuck? He's just chilling. Like, bro, you messed up. You know, you walked away from this truth. You know, you drink the Lord's blood unworthily, man.
God.
And he held the Passover before, I'm sure. Go ahead, brother.
Verse 57.
Yep.
And they that laid hold on Yahushua led him away to Caiaphas,
Yep.
the high priest,
Yep.
where the scribes and elders were assembled. But Peter followed him afar off unto the high priest's palace, and went in and sat with the servants to see the end.
Right. Let's go to 27 now. Yeah. Well, actually, let's go to John 17. 27 is good too, though. Matthew 27.
Wait, it starts from 17.
Because it tells you, no, look at that. Look at 27, Matthew 27.
27 to what?
1.
This is Matthew chapter 27.
Yeah, we're going to try to stop by like at least 8:15 or so.
This is Matthew chapter 27, verse 1. When the morning was come, all the chief priests and elders of the people took counsel against Yahushua to put him to death. When they had bound him and led him away and delivered him to Pontius Pilate, the governor.
Right, Pontius Pilate, he ruled from 27 AD to about 37 AD. So that shows you the time. In that last year of his rulership, that's when Yahushua was delivered to him. So Yahushua had to die crucified around 37 AD. You know, if not, they'll say 38 AD. So he had to be around 40 years old when they crucified him. But these churches say 33 because they didn't deal with that masonry. You know what I mean? So he was around at least like 40 years old. That's why his hair was turning a little white or gray. You know what I mean? So you'll see people making pictures of Yahushua as a little boy with white woolly hair.
Yeah.
It's like it just don't make sense.
Yeah, it was also a video that Elder Apostle Hart kind of noted about like when they do the AI things, like you gotta be careful with that because you can go off with that.
Yeah.
It ain't.
They drawing them with wings. They drawing the angels with foreheads.
Lined up.
Lined up.
Following them and stuff like
Yeah,
that.
man.
You gotta be careful with that.
Yeah. They had a picture talking.
Yeah, I've seen that before.
Seen that? That shit scared the heck out of me, man. I sitting there watching it like, what the hell? This shit is wicked.
Yeah.
You know, that'll have you looking at the picture praying. Like, nah, that's all. So we're supposed to have depictions of the Lord, not all this different graphic shit.
Yeah.
I like it for the movie, like a scene depiction, like you know, depicting the scene of the Passover or something like that. All right, go ahead. Let's keep rocking. Oh,
Matthew chapter 27, verse 3.
yeah, we definitely not gonna get through this one.
Then Judas, which had betrayed him, when he saw he was condemned, repented himself and brought again the 30 pieces of silver to the chief priests and elders,
Right.
saying,
He tried to get the money back. Yep, too late. That was a lot of these people gonna do that. Took the purse, getting like Nate. He just did it. They had an interview with him on his page, sitting down with some
Israeli.
Khazar, yeah, somebody investigating him. But the questions he was asking, and well, he was. Well, the questions he the questions he was asking was like setup questions, you know. And he could tell they was asking him like, "Yo, why do you got captains and soldiers?" He like, "We got thousands of soldiers." It's like, "Yo, you dummy!" He's like,
Idiot, bro. You used to be the police, and you gonna.
They said, "Are you with the police?"
Interrogated.
Yeah, they said, "Are you still a police officer?" He said, "Maybe not, maybe."
That's crazy.
Stop playing.
It's on video. He said, "Maybe I am, maybe I'm not. That's up to you to find out."
He already said in 2016 he already quit.
He said, "Yeah, you're not. Then we'll go with you now." He said, "If you want to believe that, it's on video."
That's
on video.
weird.
It's
Man.
Nate, your boy Nate sounds like a burning. All right, let's get it, brother. Let's keep going. Let's keep so we can get through this and get this
Verse 4.
service started.
Saying, I have sinned, and that I have betrayed the innocent blood. And they said, what is that to us? See thou to that. And he cast down the pieces of silver in the temple, and departed and went and hanged himself.
Right, so he hung himself, right? Go ahead.
And the chief priest took the silver pieces and said, it is not lawful for it to put them into the treasury, because it is the price of blood.
Right.
And they took counsel.
They tried to become holy all of a sudden.
Yeah, all of a sudden, but you gave him the money.
Good. Good.
And they took counsel and brought him with the potter's field and to bury strangers in.
Right.
Wherefore that field was called the field of blood unto this day.
Right. So he stayed there hanging until he dried up and exploded.
Damn.
Yeah, you know.
Oh, so I was talking about Acts.
Yeah, rigor mortis set in. You know what I mean? All right, go ahead.
Then was fulfilled that which was spoke by Jeremy the prophet, saying,
Jeremiah
the prophet, saying, and they took the 30 pieces of silver, the price of him that was valued, whom they of the children of Israel did value, and gave them for the potter's field, as the Lord appointed me. And Yahushua stood before the governor, and the governor asked him, saying, art thou king of the Jews?
Right, see that? That's all they was worrying about is us having a king. Even to this day, they don't want us to have a king. They don't want to Martin Lucifer King, anything with king on it. They gonna take the head off. Tupac, Biggie, anybody you a rapper, you call yourself the king of rapping, you done. You know, anybody say they the king, they out there. Michael Jackson, king of pop, you out there. They gave us artificial kings. You know what I'm saying? You can be a king, but it gotta be fake.
Yeah, they create.
Like,
What's his name?
Wakanda, Black Panther.
They got him out of there.
Yeah.
It's hilarious. Yeah.
Well,
Nipsey hustled.
yeah.
They call him the king. He was about to, bring all the gangs together. He out of there. So they still don't want us to have a king. And now they going to Nate. No. Just go ahead, bro. Go ahead.
And Yahushua said,
They give him a pass. Nah, you go ahead.
Matthew 27:11. And Yahushua stood before the governor, and the governor asked him, saying, art thou the king of the Jews? And Yahushua said unto them, thou sayest.
Right, this was Pontius Pilate speaking. And he was the governor over Judea. And he was ruling under Tiberius, okay, at that time. Go ahead, brother.
And when he was accused of the chief priests and elders, he answered nothing. Then saith Pilate unto him, Hearest thou not how many things they witness against thee? And he answered him to never a word, insomuch that the governor marveled greatly.
Right, see that? So the same thing now. They marveling. They see us. That's why Revelations 11 said great fear fell upon them, because they see us out there teaching, and they see our faith. You know what I mean? It's a display of what exists that we can't see with our eyes. You know, and they see it. They see us out there like, man, why they ain't break? All right, try something else, man. Push another pandemic. Let's shut the page down. Put the hate speech on them. You know, You Hebrews.
The brother Gabar and I was talking about the Jehovah's Witness, how they be out there with their little cart, and you said you walk past them, and one of them was like, and that was like her way of like crying, sighing and crying in the streets, like okay, and they wait, they don't proclaim who they believe in.
Yeah.
But verse 15 of Matthew chapter 27. Now at that feast, the governor was wont to release unto the people a prisoner whom they would, and they had then a notable prisoner.
Right.
Called,
I think every time of the Passover, they would release a different prisoner, the Romans, just so they could keep things calm. You know what I mean? I told you to keep all the rebellions down. And ever since the time of Herod, they kept rebelling. We kept rebelling against them. And the whole thing with the Roman Empire was trying to keep things calm. The only one that really achieved that, keeping the calmness, is Augustus Caesar.
Mhm.
You know what I mean? So even started with Herod, he would put up an eagle, a Roman standard, in the entry of the temple. And our people was like, hell no, we started going crazy over that. You can look at it, it was a rebellion. Going way back since then. All the way up until the Jewish Roman wars. It led up to the wars in 70 AD, in 66 AD.
they recently found some coins with the Paleo Hebrew from the time of some Israelite revolts against the Romans.
Right. So that's what this is talking about. All right. So they every year they would release certain prisoners to us, to our people. Go ahead.
Matthew 27:17. Therefore, when they were gathered together, Pilate said unto them, whom will ye that I release unto you, Barabbas or Yahushua?
Barabbas.
Or Yahushua, the water, which is called a Mashiach.
Right. So the Mashiach, which means the anointed one. And Pilate was an Edomite. We got to put that out there. You know what I mean? Judging our affairs. Go ahead.
For he knew that for envy they have delivered him.
So why did they come against Yahushua? For envy, right there. He knew it. The Edomite knew it. He knew why the Pharisees was coming against Yahushua. He knew it. He looking at it like, they just like him. He like, yeah, just like me. Just like Pilate. Go ahead.
When he was
stand against envy.
Yeah, who can stand against envy? Go ahead.
When he was set down on the judgment seat, his wife sent unto him, saying, Have thou nothing to do with that just man? For I have
nothing to do with that just man. He like, she had the Most High was giving her dream, nightmares. What was gonna happen to him? He's like, just don't do it. Don't do it. And he didn't listen. Go ahead.
Have nothing to do with that just man, for I have suffered many things this day in a dream because of him.
Because of Yahushua. So Pilate's slick. He found his way out of it.
But the chief priests and elders persuaded the multitude that they should ask Barabbas and destroy Yahushua.
Right, where are you at, brother?
Verse 20. Now I'm on verse 21.
All right, go ahead.
The governor answered and said unto them, whether of the twain will ye that I release unto you? They said Barabbas.
Right, Barabbas was known for being a robber and also killed somebody during the insurrection.
Oh.
Like one of the rebellions against the Roman Empire, he actually killed somebody. So they was like against the Pharisees and all them. He actually killed somebody. I don't know if it was a Jake that he killed or an Edomite that he killed. I'm sure if it was an Edomite, Rome would have dealt with him.
Yeah.
So he probably killed a Jake. You know what I mean? So they was like, they knew he murdered somebody during the uprising, during this like a civil war almost. Go ahead. They was known as the Zealots. All right, go ahead.
Pilate said unto them, what shall I do then with Yahushua, which is called a Mashiach? They all said unto him, let him be crucified.
See that? And they said, let him be crucified. That shows you their way of thinking. And to crucify somebody, that was the way of putting somebody to death at that time. The Roman Empire, they would have you carry your own cross and all the way up to the Golgotha or wherever, and they would put you on the mountain, like where they had Yahushua at. They had him on the top of the mountain of Golgotha, and people would walk by every day and see him up there. In the scorching heat and everything, man. Until around 9 a.m. they killed him. You know what I mean? So, all right, go ahead.
And the governor said, why? what evil hath he done? But they cried out the more, saying, Let him be crucified. When Pilate saw that he could prevail nothing, but that rather a tumult was made, he took water and washed his hands before the multitude, saying, I am innocent of the blood of this just person. See ye to it.
He said, yo, I mean,
I'm done. My name Benny.
he said, make sure everybody know I'm innocent. But what did the Lord say about him, though?
Then believe.
Nah, what did the Lord say about Pilate?
Oh,
Obadiah. Shame. Now, we don't have to get it, but shame shall cover thee. For that violence against our brother Jacob, our blood is already on his hands. The mystery of iniquity, the mystery of iniquity was already working.
You're gonna try to turn over a new leaf at that moment.
Right.
He was like,
Verse-
this ain't no average Israelite right here.
He ain't no average person.
Right?
Yeah, man.
verse 25. Then answered all the people and said, His blood be on us and our children.
See, that's why. See, the Lord, the Most High set that up. The same ones that was in the wilderness that wanted to go back into Egypt, their children, you know, the Most High found a way to make that separation now. You know what I mean? So we don't have to suffer because of their ways anymore. You know, so all Israel don't have to fall no more. So they said, let their blood, let Yahweh's blood be on them. So now they're back here on this earth to receive that reward. Revelation 7:1 or 1:7.
Damn.
Somebody get that from Baruch Shah?
Where's the one?
Yeah. And that was Jake's. Not bad, brother.
No, like the blood is on their hands, but with the 1/3 and the hopeful elect, the blood is on our spirit, like entirely.
Right. It's on us for good reason.
Come, good reason.
Like it was on the doorpost of Egypt.
Come.
Right.
1:7.
Go ahead, brother. Yeah, 1:7.
This Revelation 1:7. Behold, he cometh with clouds, and every eye shall see him, and they also which pierced him, and all kindreds of the earth. That well because of him, even so, amen.
That's right,
I
man.
need some glasses, man.
Right. So every eye shall see Yahweh when he returns. So he set it up. He led them all the way up to that point, all the way up until the last day so they get that judgment. The fire. And he led us all the way up to the point, the spirit of the prophet is subject unto the prophet. And he led us all the way up to this point and had faith here waiting on us, teachers here waiting on us, the word here waiting on us for every time we arrive. All the way up to that point, all the way up until these last days, so we can receive the reward. You know what I mean? Of just believing him going back to Egypt. Yeah, man. So, you know, so the Most High set that up. And they said it, let Yahweh's blood be upon us, just like it was upon the Pharisees, the wicked Pharisees at that time.
And on our children.
And on their children's children. So their children's children are back here, which is them, to get the judgment. The Lord said we will be back here to receive the word, the spirit of truth, and belief. Go ahead, brother.
Verse 26. Then released he Barabbas unto them, and when he had scourged Yahushua,
Scourged them. See that? Go ahead, whoop them again.
he delivered him to be crucified.
See? Straight did it. If you look up in the Roman law, it's usually months apart. You know, you got to go before the courts a few times.
Just like today's court, it takes so long to just to crucify somebody for like a small petty crime. It takes months and months.
Convict somebody or something. Yeah. But they convicted him, blamed him, said he did it, he's a murderer, all that, you know, like a bad person. They did all of that, whooped him and crucified him almost in the same day.
I got
Seems like I think it's the same day. Go ahead, brother.
I got precept going into how they said let our sins be on our children, but it really fell upon them.
Yeah.
This is Jeremiah chapter 31, verse 29. It says, in those days it shall no more the fathers have eaten a sour grape, and the children's teeth shall be set on edge. But everyone shall die for his own iniquity. Every man that eateth the sour grape, his teeth shall be set on edge. Behold, the day comes, said the Lord, that I will make a new. Well, basically saying that, you know, everybody, like the ones in the wilderness that rebelled against Yahweh, and the ones that that rebelled against him when he was on this earth 2,000 years ago. Now they're living out this judgment. The sins are not falling upon the children, it's falling upon them. So their teeth is going to be set on edge for eating those sour grapes.
Right. Right. Who is it, brother?
Verse 27, Matthew chapter 27. It says, Then the soldiers of the governor took Yahushua into the common hall and gathered unto him the whole band of soldiers. And they stripped him and put on him a scarlet robe. And when they had platted a crown of thorns,
Right.
they put it upon his head. They put it upon his head, and a reed in his right hand, and they bowed the knee before him.
Wait, somebody speak on the record.
That crown of thorns, it's not just like a crown of thorns, like a rose bush that we see. There's an actual.
Yeah.
They're like nails used for art. They're called Jerusalem thorns.
Yeah.
And they're really big. And our people, our fro, so to really truly put something that was all tangled in his hair, really digging into his skin for real. They stripped him and put on him a scarlet robe, and when they had plaited a crown of thorns, they put it upon his head, and a reed in his right hand, and they bowed the knee before him and mocked him, saying, Hail the King of the Jews. And
they were mocking him. They said, Hail the King of the Jews. See that? They didn't care that he was the Messiah and all that. They was just saying they didn't want us to have a king, so they were mocking him. Just like they mocked all our people that want to be kings, they mocked them today through the media.
Anybody that want to be a leader or something that stand up, they figure out a way to demonize the character, assassinate the character, figure out a way to bring them low.
Yep, and the wearing dresses and all that.
All that.
Yep.
They don't matter if they're doing it for the truth's sake or any type of empowerment to the children of Israel. They don't want to see it at all.
Right.
Whether it's falsified or like with the Black Panthers, you see how they demonize them, even though they were going against it, not the way Yahushua wanted us to go, or Yahushua wanted us to do it, but they just didn't want to see any type of spiritual uplifting in our people at all.
Mm-hmm.
They wanted them to sit there and lay dormant. So if they did it with those individuals, imagine what they want to try to do with us, but the Lord's not going to allow it to happen.
And like a form of spiritual buck breaking, trying to basically demasculize the man or just the nation period in order to find the uprising using the higher power. The same way they would try to get they would get the strongest man, tear him limb from limb, tie each limb to a horse to have him as a example to not escape, to try like uplift him towards the plantation or whatever the case may be.
Right.
And it's lucky too. That shows you the mind of Esau and the mind of the Edomites, because it says these were soldiers who put them up to putting that crown, the crown of thorns, and plaiting that together.
Yeah.
Cause I was just
That's a form of mockery. It just shows you how their mind worked. It wasn't enough for them to strip them down, and put that robe on them. They had to take it one step further. That's what they always do. When the soldiers were over there in Iraq, when 9/11 first popped off and all that, you had that one soldier or a couple of soldiers who were putting broomsticks, in certain places of the Iraqi national. You just always got to take it one step further.
Yeah. But all their mockery was according to prophecy. The Lord put that in their hearts, man, so it'd be written. And he truly was the king of the Jews, the king of the Israelites, king of the world, king of the universe. So only somebody worthy could sit in that seat that he was sitting in to be brought low like that, just so he could be lifted so high. And it says that there was nobody on the earth, under the earth, or in heaven that was worthy according like he is. That's right.
Paul said himself he wished he was the accursed thing.
Yep.
For the children of Israel, but that wasn't his lot. It was only written for Yahushua. He was only one worthy to loose the seals.
Right. So he said if they persecuted him, we have to treat a little too, for the camera, y'all. But if he was persecuted, we're gonna be persecuted. You know what I'm saying? So You know, but Jake, they don't want to feel that yeah. And what did the Lord say? Move not in haste when you brought to a lower state. You know, because there's a lot of traps out here. So you know what I mean. So a lot of Jake don't want to feel that today, so they selling their soul. You know, for filthy lucre for riches. All right, go ahead and killing each other and all this stuff. And women selling their body. You know how it goes. Go ahead, brother.
Matthew chapter 27, verse 30.
We're not to cut it to in the middle when you started.
And they spit upon him and took the reed and smote him on the head. And after that, they had mocked him. They took the robe off of him and put his own raiment on him and led him away to crucify him. So they really didn't have to do all that.
Nope.
And as they came out, they found a man of Cyrene, Simon by name. Him they compelled to bear his cross.
Right, this was the Jake. And they just pointed him out and told him to carry the cross of Yahushua. That's how huge it was. It was like a big giant tree that was on his back. And the poles went further than his hands. You know, and then they dug nails through his hand, but they didn't break any bones. But this is where all the nerves at. And he felt that. You know what I mean? And they put nails through his ankle right here. And it's like, that's painful, man. And they just banged him through there. Big, thick nails. Nails into
Railroad
the cross.
spikes.
Yeah, railroad spikes.
Verse 33. And when they were come unto a place called Golgotha, that is to say, a place of a skull, they gave him vinegar to drink mingled with gall. And when they had tasted
When he had tasted.
and when he had tasted thereof, he would not drink.
Right, so they try to give him gall to drink. And that gall represents like a numbing agent. With like penicillin. No, not penicillin, like an ibuprofen, you know what I mean?
Something to take.
No, what they give you at the hospital?
Anesthesia.
The you know,
Morphine.
morphine. It was kind of like on that level back then. You know what I mean? Like a numbing agent. And Yahushua didn't want it. He didn't want that. He wanted to feel all the pain for us. You know what I mean? So we may be tested in the same way when Revelation 13 come around for our families and for the ones that, for the weaker ones that believe, they may have to see our faith, you know, in that day. You know, I tested my faith now. They watching. Even though they don't look like they watching, but they gotta live their path. They can't watch you like this the whole time. They gotta operate as a human being too. But they watching, man. And you know, so we gotta be present for them. We gotta be available. We gotta be present, meaning like existing. You know, not non-existent. You know, people just don't want to do the work and just fall out the truth, man. And they're like, nah, my page don't matter. I only got like 5 views. Well, them 5 people still waiting. You know what I mean? That the 5 people could be like Peter, you know, waking up hundreds of thousands of people.
That's that still counts as your works because you reach those 5 that reach those hundreds of thousands.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah. You know, just like our fruit is the eldest fruit. You know, just like your fruit would be mine, and so on. Their fruit would be yours. Now our fruit, going back to the elders, would be Yahushua's. Yahushua's fruit is your house. That's how it works. You know, yeah. So go ahead, brother.
Verse 35. And they crucified him and parted his garments, casting lots, that it might be fulfilled which was spoken by the prophet. They parted my garments among them, and upon my vesture did they cast lots.
Right. I think that was David. If I'm not mistaken.
And sitting down, they watched him there, and set up over his head his accusation written, This is Yahushua, the King of the Jews. Then there were 2 thieves crucified with him,
Right.
one on the right hand and another on the left.
Right. Where you at, brother?
Verse 38.
All right.
39 now. And they that passed by reviled him, wagging their heads, and saying, Thou that destroyest the temple and buildest it in 3 days, save thyself, if thou be the son of Yahweh.
So imagine that, man. If you see a picture of Golgotha, man, look at it when you get home. And you'll see it, and there's a street right in front of it. It's a street in front of it, and then there's a wall, and then you can see the skull and all that. And then on top of it, that's where they hung it. That's where they had him at. So they was walking by, just talking trash to him. And he's hanging up there looking, man. You know what I'm saying?
If thou be the son of Yahweh, come down off the cross. Likewise also the chief priests mocking him with the scribes and elders said, he saved others, himself he cannot save. If he be the king of Israel, let him come down now off the cross, and we will believe him. He trusted in Yahweh, let him deliver him now if he will have him. For he said, I am the son of Yahweh. The thieves which also were crucified with him cast the same in his teeth. Now from the 6th hour, where there was darkness.
Right. I think the 6th hour is 3 o'clock. No, when that would be like 12. That would be like 12. That would be like 12 o'clock. I would. Yeah, 6 hours. So you had the 9th hour would be like 3 o'clock. And the 6th hour would be like 12 o'clock. Yeah. But darkness was happening at noon.
You didn't realize at that point you done messed up?
Yeah, because the 3rd hour of the day would be 9 o'clock, and then 3 hours later, that would be 6 hours. Yeah, that would be noon. Yeah.
So drunk.
Yeah, 9th hour of the day. Uh-huh.
Verse
The
45.
3rd hour of the day. So go ahead, bro.
Now from the 6th hour there was darkness all over all the land until the 9th hour.
Until the 9th hour. All right, I think the 9th hour would be 3 o'clock.
Yeah.
So from 12 in the afternoon, that's the hottest point. The sun is out. All the way till 3 o'clock in the afternoon, you'd think it'd be sunny, but it was pitch black, dark. That place was cursed. Yeah.
And about the 9th hour, Yahushua cried with a loud voice, saying,
So he was sitting there that whole time. You gotta think about that too.
how do you pronounce that?
Eli, lama sabachthani.
Eli, lama sabachthani.
That would be like Aliyah.
Okay, I'm about to say it.
Yep.
That is to say, my power, why hast thou forsaken me? Some of them that stood there, when they heard that, said, this man called for
Elijah. They thought he was calling on Elijah. Go ahead.
And straightway one of them ran and took a sponge and filled it with vinegar and put it on a reed and gave him to drink.
Mm-hmm.
The rest said, let be, let us see whether Elijah will come to save him. Yahushua, when he had cried again with a loud voice, yielded up the ghost.
See that he yielded up the ghost, man. And it shows that we don't die. The spirit lives on. He was the proof of that, and he knew that his time was coming. I was trying to find it. He knew his time was coming because he knew his time was coming that he had to leave out of this world and go to the Father. You got to think about that. Like we all leave out of this world and go to the Father. Like he knew that. You know what I mean? But science and the Greeks and the Romans, they taught us to fear death. They teach us that there's nothing after this. And then they put us in prisons for the rest of our life. You get what I'm saying? And so it causes people to live and move in haste and live like demons on the earth. That's why you got people in Philadelphia, Chicago, Miami, New York, all calling themselves demons.
What do you call it? YOLO?
YOLO, yeah.
You only live once?
Yeah.
So everybody crashing out.
Crashing out, calling themselves demons, on demon time. Because they don't believe the Most High exists. So they're like, they going along with the Illuminati plan to where they are going to go with the spiritual demon Satan. That's the only thing that's being presented to them right now, that they're choosing. Because they're pushing that in the media, devil worship, and they seeing it bring power and money, and they don't know that's vain.
Deception.
Yeah, that can't save them from the judgment. They're like, what judgment? That's why I wanted to read that scripture. I think it's in John, but Pilate, he said, Yahushua was talking to him. We ain't gonna be able to get it though, but we go throughout this week. And Yahushua was talking to him. He said, they believe in the truth. And Pilate was like, what is truth? He said, said, "What is truth, man?" Think about it. He said, What's that?" Anyway, so you're like, "What is truth, man?" That's like it made me think of that. How much power is it in this truth? Like on Book of Eli, remember they're trying to kill everybody over the Bible? They knew it had power in it. And you're like, what is this substance? What is this force you have? You know,
Spirit.
yeah. What is truth? But let's keep going. We might get started in a minute, though. You know.
We can read.
Yeah, go ahead. You know, a little bit more.
Verse 51. And behold, the veil of the temple was rent in twain, from the top to the bottom, and the earth did quake, and the rocks rent, and the graves were open, and many bodies of saints which slept arose.
Right, so they rose from the dead like he promised. You know, physically, just like today is spiritual, us rising from the dead out of the grave, meaning from amongst the dead being spiritually awake now. You know what I mean? But back then it already happened. They rose out of the graves. You know what I mean? So in these days, it wouldn't make sense for them to come down, get put back in the body, and then
Right back with it.
you know what I mean? So, but yeah, man. So yeah, let's go ahead and I think we should get started though. It's getting kind of late. But that was the point, man, of Yahushua being crucified and everything he went through on this night. Not just the Exodus, because we know that story. We're going to get into that throughout the week, Yahweh Ratazah, or maybe tomorrow we teach tomorrow, if anybody with it. But about the Exodus, and how much the Lord cared for us to send Yahushua to get him to speak to Moses in the burning bush. That was love right there. And he loved us all the way from the beginning and created us into a nation, brought us out, gave his only begotten son for us, sent Yahushua down here, put him through all of that so that we wouldn't have to. That's the type, the pain that Yahushua felt is the pain that we would feel as our face would be on fire in the judgment. You know, or the famine, or the sword. The pestilence. That's the pain we would have felt. And the Lord took all of that, only for the elect, not for all Israel. They're gonna have to feel that. They're gonna have to feel it. So he took that pain. So we, you know, and what happened in the house where you have a child that you don't whoop? They spoiled. They get rampant. They start wearing baseball caps when they teaching. Start teaching with guns on them. Start riding on horses and shit on the Passover. Golden horses, you know what I mean?
Start stealing people money and talking about they done made it there.
You can do all that. They don't think nothing gonna happen. Like the Lord is saving them for the judgment. They become willful, man. Yep. All right. Idle mind is the devil's playground. So, but yeah, man, that's what we want to focus on. From this point even forward is Yahushua. Don't lose sight of the sacrifice that Yahushua did for us. We're gonna talk more about it because we gotta go through the prayers. And we hope y'all have a blessed Passover too. And it's a solemn assembly. We're gonna go through all these things this week. You know, the solemn assembly part, all the I can do lessons on it. Maybe John 17, you know what I mean? Go through those in detail. The Passover during Yahushua's time, the Passover during Ezekiel's time, the Passover during Ezra's time, the Passover during Josiah. You know, when he threw the last Passover. The Passover during the Exodus. All right, that's the mindset to be in right now, you know, and how Yahushua promising to pass over us as individuals. So with that, man, we're gonna end it and get to it, man. Hey, shalom. Shalom. Yeah, let's get to it, man. I'm gonna keep rocking though, man. We keep going, man, but we gotta get started though. This is gonna take a while.
That video I put in the chat.
I can.
But it's giving the point of view of the eclipse. When that happens, that too. That's Monday.
For the next one.
Yeah, the lunar eclipse.
Bro, stop, bro.
That's okay.
Go on.
Say it next.